Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through the noise and give you the insights that matter. Today, we're doing a really intense deep dive. It's about the complete shattering of trust, our source material. It's this incredibly raw, personal testimony, like a catalog, really, of broken trust and the huge emotional cost.
Yeah, and this isn't just about being let down. It's more like a forensic look at a total system breakdown internally. So our mission today is to unpack these specific experiences, understand how loyalty, when it's just repeatedly smashed, turns into this deep cynicism about everyone, and even about oneself.
And the source gets right to it. It lays down the core idea almost immediately. Trust, it says, is the only thing that takes years to build and seconds to break.
That one line just sets everything up, doesn't it? It basically says years of work can vanish instantly.
It makes vulnerability seem almost illogical from the start.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that the list of betrayals that follows is not just random bad luck. It suggests that once that foundation cracks, everything is vulnerable, like every single part of life.
Okay, so let's unpack that catalog of damage. Because the sheer range of it, it's kind of staggering. We're talking personal friendships, professional stuff, all of it gets poisoned.
Right. If we start with the really personal stuff, these aren't just accidents. They feel like deliberate attacks. The source talks about being kicked to the curb, stabbed in the back, left stranded and trapped out. I mean, this is active abandonment.
Yeah, it feels calculated. Like you said, not just a falling out. It mentions being treated like shit, just abandoned. And there's this detail that just hits hard, being jumped by young friends who planned it, that shifts it from a mistake to something, well, malicious.
And you see the same pattern in intimate relationships. The speaker says they were loyal as I can, but still dealt with partners that cheat. And the words used for the aftermath, ditched, dumped, discarded, and beat. It paints a picture of feeling utterly disposable, like utility was the only thing that mattered, not actual connection.
That idea, utility over affection, that feels really key here. Because when you look at the professional and financial betrayals, that theme just blows up. Being used for my money, and then once the money's gone or the use is over, just tried and replaced.
And it wasn't just private pain either. There's the public shame, getting booed off the stage, called the disgrace.
Yeah.
But the financial part specifically, that raises something interesting for us to maybe dig into a bit.
Oh, yeah. What's standing out for you there?
Well, the speaker talks about helping out peers, people who needed the cash, right? But then the moment the check clears, they dash, they just disappear. It makes you wonder, if this keeps happening, does the person almost start to expect it? Like, does extending trust become a kind of learned vulnerability where you're almost subconsciously braced for the hit?
That's a really deep point. Like, maybe their own loyalty system was so strong they just couldn't imagine people not acting the same way. It made them an easy mark. They kept buying into that we're in this together idea.
It seems like it. And that detail about the check clearing, it's just so transactional. The moment the utility is gone, so is the person. Brutal.
And even supposed teammates, people who should have your back, ended up dragging his name through the dirt.
Yeah, this whole first part, it's really a study in cumulative trauma.
Yeah.
The language is so physical, kick when I'm down, scarred by the feet, like people literally walked all over him. It really drives home the weight of so much betrayal that it's taken a toll.
Okay, so the world keeps showing you loyalty gets punished. How does a person even cope with that? We need to look at the psychological armor that gets built, right? How do you go from being hopeful and loyal to this survivor state?
Well, the shift seems to be all about emotional self-preservation, like triage. When you're constantly told you're defined by mistakes or, people claiming to care are lying, you have to build some kind of fortress. And the source is very clear about the defense mechanism. I bottle up my baggage because I need it to record.
Wow. So using the pain itself as fuel, sacrificing the processing of it for output?
Exactly. It's like saying, this hurt is only valuable if I can make something out of it, not if I actually feel it. And the force spells it out. I don't move with no emotions. I just leave them at the door. The focus shifts completely. It's no longer about connection. It's about strategy. It's about just even in the score.
Right. It becomes tactical. Like all that energy that went into bonding is now redirected into, well, payback or at least self-protection.
It's a fundamental change from being a social creature to being a kind of calculating actor, just trying to survive.
But what does that do to you inside when you wall off your emotions like that?
We get clues from the metaphors used, these really physical descriptions of the internal state. There's that famous line about the heart being basically granite. Now, the common understanding, which fits everything else, is that they mean granite, hardened.
Yeah, like stone, unfeeling.
Exactly. It's like turning this living, vulnerable thing into something inert, untouchable, a necessary defense, maybe.
And what's that hardened heart carrying?
Apparently the weight of the planet.
Hmm.
They talk about walking around carrying that enormous burden. And I don't think that's just, poetic exaggeration about stress. It captures the isolation perfectly. You're carrying every single broken promise, every lie, all by yourself.
And those fake friends and smiles? They're not just annoying background noise. They're described as a weight on my soul. That constant effort of navigating a world where, appearances are deceptive.
That's really the core of it for this section, analytically speaking. The reason the psychological defenses are so extreme, it comes from finally internalizing that realization, I've just been taken for granted.
Yeah.
Once you believe you're just a resource to people, you kind of give up on affection. Survival means you have to become just as transactional yourself.
And all that sustained damage, that constant barrage, it leads us to the final state described in the source, this place of just absolute total loss of trust. It's not even about specific people anymore, is it? It's like the whole concept of trust has failed.
Yeah, the distrust list is, well, it's pretty shocking in how comprehensive and final it sounds. It just leaves no room for doubt or nuance.
Let's just run through it quickly. The things the speaker explicitly says they don't trust. I don't trust people. Okay, broad start. I don't trust pigs. I don't trust bitches. I don't trust friends. And finally, I don't trust nothing else.
And we should probably clarify here, terms like pigs or bitches, in this context, they seem to represent categories of people the speaker felt deeply betrayed or threatened by. Maybe authority figures, maybe past partners, maybe rivals. For the speaker, they're now just groups defined by their potential to betray.
Right. It's harsh language born from harsh experience. And after listing all that, the conclusion is just devastating. I don't know what trust is. The whole idea is just gone, obliterated.
That line, yeah, at maybe the emotional rock bottom of the material. But the really crucial part, the thing that explains the depth of the isolation, comes right after that list.
The line that sums it all up. And I don't trust myself.
Exactly. We have to pause there. Why?
Yeah.
Why does being betrayed by everyone else lead to betraying yourself or distrusting yourself? And the source connects it back for us. It goes back to the speaker's original motivation. They thought, well, they were under the impression that they were people like me.
So it was based on a belief in shared humanity, shared motives. They admit they fed into the bullshit that we're together and we're brothers, we're going to fight together. It wasn't just about winning, it was about belonging. To be a part of a family, accomplish a goal together.
Right. The loyalty was genuine, and it was tied to their own sense of self, their own values. So the whole system crashes down when they have that painful realization. Other people didn't have different, he means the same motives that I did. Their core belief about how people operate was fundamentally wrong.
So if your own judgment about shared values keeps getting proven wrong, catastrophically wrong, you stop trusting that judgment. You stop trusting the part of you that wanted to believe.
Precisely. You can't trust your own instincts about who is safe, who is genuine, who deserves your loyalty or your help. That's the final, deepest layer of self-distrust.
So pulling this all together, this deep dive shows us a pretty harrowing psychological journey.
Yeah, we've traced it from, hopeful vulnerability through just layer upon layer of betrayal, watching every bridge as they started to burn, and seeing how that led directly to this profound isolation. An isolation summed up by that sweeping distrust, even of the self.
And the core lesson really hammers home that contrast. The years it takes to build something versus the seconds to destroy it. When that basic belief in shared goals or shared decency is proven false over and over, the collapse is total. It infects everything, right down to how you see yourself.
And remember, the speaker made a conscious choice, a survival tactic.
Yeah.
Bottle up the baggage and use it. Leave the emotions out of it, specifically to record.
Right. Which brings us to our final thought for you, the listener. When betrayal pushes you to that point where you have to sacrifice emotional connection, wall yourself off, harden your heart like granite just to function, maybe even to succeed or even the score, what's the real ultimate cost of winning that way? Is that victory truly worth the armor you had to build to get there? Something to think about.